Hi everyone, and welcome to your Dance Teacher Potential again. Today we're bringing to you the topic about how do you manage a class and keep them in the right mindset. So when you are going out into teaching, you're going to encounter many personalities and many complications within your classroom. And it's very important that you have a ton of tools in your bag so that you can manage your class and the class stays happy and you stay happy. And so it all works better instead of continually getting frustrated and angry at them, and then what happens is that they get frustrated and angry, and then you create this terrible energy in your classroom. So what we're going to teach you today is a few things that we do so that we keep everyone in the right mindset, so that then your class is productive and effective and efficient and so much fun.
Yeah, you never know what kind of day they've had at school or at home or what they've eaten, but if you can, when they get in that room, be a positive light and kind of guide them into wanting to be a better dancer, a better human when they're inside that classroom. That's our ultimate goal. So I think a lot of the times it can be very punitive in dance. We were discussing that, when we grew up, it was if you didn't participate or if you didn't do a good job, it was you didn't get a sticker at the end of class, right? Because you didn't deserve a sticker. Why would you get a sticker? And kind of now it's everyone gets a sticker. So how do we navigate everyone getting a sticker, but also highlighting people doing a good job and what we want out of the class, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think so I'm going to talk about a little bit of that because we were having a conversation that now we're not a competition studio, but we do go out and do a couple competitions a year, and I sometimes think that it's a bit much when they have to give something to everyone, and so the kids are not used to seeing that the dancer that put the most effort could be highlighted, like that there is something wrong with highlighting the dancer that was putting a ton of effort and saying, bravo, you did it this time. Like, you were the one that put a ton of effort, you did fantastic today, and then we can all move on. And so Lee in her classes does something that's called the Star Student, and for all the ages, right? And so I do feel that she's showing them that everybody gets a sticker, first of all, but then the Star Student.
Right, the Star Student, had great listening ears. They were working really hard. They paid attention to the instructions. They did everything with a great attitude. And I highlight them at the end of class, and I do like a little drum roll, and I'm like, our Star Student today was Nancy. And that Star Student gets 2 stickers. And so everyone is then eager to be that Star Student. And they do all get a chance, so there is no dancer left behind. So each week it really does change, and it could be something as minor as, Billy has a meltdown every single week, but today Billy just sat on his spot, right? And so the next week Billy comes in and he's so eager to be the Star Student because he was like, wait, I got recognized for doing something good. I wonder if I can do it again, right? And even if they have those meltdowns before they come into the room, I say, I'm looking for my Star Student today. Who's it gonna be? And they kind of are like, oh my gosh, I forgot. Yes, I want to be it.
Yeah. I think another thing that we're very aware at the studio is that, so in talking about the positive mindset and just like helping the kids understand that, we're in the classroom, we're all different, but we're all putting the best effort, right? Like, go be the best dancer you can be today. Now, we also can never forget that some of our little dancers, or not so little, might have had a terrible time at school, or they're feeling sick, or something's happening outside of dance, and they're looking for the wrong kind of attention. And so they are misbehaving, and they are pushing another student, and they're just doing things that you shouldn't be doing in the classroom. And so I think you have to be very smart about how you approach the student, and instead of the punitive situation when you're like pointing the finger at them and being like, don't, that's bad, don't, that's bad. Instead, you encourage them to do the good thing. And as soon they do a little bit of it, because they're having a terrible day, right? Having a terrible day, but they do slightly good arms. Yes! You see, you can do it, good arms. And they're like, wait, what? Oh, okay, yes, I'm doing a good thing. So it's like, trying to motivate them, encouraging them, and guide them to learn how to be in a classroom, right? We're not saying everybody has to be a good kid. We're not saying everybody's perfect. We're not looking for that. We're just like helping them to be in the correct mindset so that then they can enjoy the class, so that then they can progress with their steps and their exercises and their choreography. And so when you find ways, encouraging them, like Lee does with the STAR student, or what I just said, when you're like finding just a slight thing that they did, or they just give you a little smile, or they give you a terrible look, and so you like celebrate that and you play with them. You're like, did you just do this on me? Because they're like not having a good day, and they like get a little bit like, oh my gosh, she's playing with me. I'm not a bad kid, you know, maybe I can give her a little bit of the good energy and like continue to play with her.
And I think to that point, what can happen with younger classes sometimes is if you'll bring them by your side because, you know, they're having a bad day and they're like, do you want to be my helper? They'll come into class every week hoping that you'll say that again because they had so much fun, so they'll give you a poor attitude, or then everybody will start giving you a poor attitude, so then they get that reward. So that's on the flip side too, right? Where it's like, I'm behaving negatively so that I get this positive thing. And so you have to kind of figure out how to give a positive reward and how to celebrate that child without bringing the mood down for everyone.
Kind of the balance.
Right, exactly. It's very tricky waters.
It's very tricky, and it comes with a lot of experience, but it's just so that you overall, if you're starting especially and you're getting very frustrated with the classroom, I think you can try a lot of positive reinforcement or encouragement or happy or joyful stuff with them instead of the yelling or the pointing or the comparing or the punishing or any of that. So that's what we're trying to say. It's like the classes are not perfect, and we have some huge classes. We joke here in New York City because sometimes it rains. So when it rains, the kids don't go out to recess. So by the time they get here at 3 p.m., it's like, they like lose it. And so they find the dance room and they like have so much energy that they haven't been able to get out on the playgrounds at school. So then they come and it's like nuts for the rest of the afternoon. So it is going to be tough to manage a classroom of 15 or 16 or 17 or 18 or 23, whatever. But it's like, if you get frustrated and your tools or your go-to is to point them out or make them feel bad, then I think that's going to come back at you in the same way. And so if you are like in your strategic brain as a teacher trying to keep them or bring them back from that poor, behavior or like very sad energy, then you can help them. I think what you were saying about the bringing them to you when they're feeling sad. Another thing also is differently when they're very sad or they can't come in or things like that. We also use like, oh, do you want to be my line leader? And then they're like, oh, then you give them a task. So it's like you make them feel proud of themselves, you make them feel useful, but you also give them a task when then their little brains, are not thinking about that sad moment or the separation that they're having with mom or something like that. So it's not that is this idea of like using your strategies to bring their little brains to a better place, to a place of work and a place of fun, of effort. Another thing we do with the babies, we can be like, do you want a little scarf? Come with me, I'll show you. I have many colors. And then you come, bring them into the room, and they just touch in the scarf for 2 seconds, right? That little dancer is like, oh, okay. So they feel a little bit of love, they feel excited, they feel, special that they grabbed the little scarf, and so like that.
Yeah, and I think, a lot of people leave the dance world because it is punitive sometimes. We fall out of love with dance and we lose students because they just feel like they're having such a hard time, and dance is such a joyous, beautiful thing that why are we going to go to this room where I'm just getting yelled at the entire time? And so they quit, and then they may never dance again. And really what we want is everyone to dance, right?
Right, and this could be a 4-year-old that you're talking about, or it could be a 15-year-old.
For sure.
And you treat the 15-year-old issues much differently, right? Because they're going through so much, but you could have like an honest conversation about like what's up with the attitude, like if there's something happening, and you can be a space for, for understanding and just open a space for them to be themselves and just to like explore those emotions and things, but it's like being smart about where your dancers are emotionally and mentally, so that then everybody can have a good class. So it goes all the way to the top.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's all we have time for today. Again, we are at Dance Teacher Potential. We are on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. If you have anything you want us to discuss, please let us know. We would love to hear from you guys. And that's all. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.